hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson on nouns. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, all right. So we are doing our grade 8 English lesson on nouns, and we are going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of nouns. We said our chapter is nouns. Our subject is English language arts, grade 8. And the lessons that we are focusing on under the chapter of nouns, because remember, this is a continuation of a previous lesson. All right, so when it comes to nouns, right? Remember, nouns, it basically tells us more. It tells us about people, animals, places, or things, right? All right. So when it comes to nouns, right? So we said our chapter is nouns. Our subject is English language arts, grade 8. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of nouns All right. So we're going to form and use plurals as well as compound nouns. And we're going to form the singular, and we're going to form the plural possessives. All right. So when it comes to our nouns, right? We will end up having singular nouns and we will be having plural nouns, right? And some of our nouns, like over here, all of these nouns, in order to form the plural of most of the nouns, we add, for example, maybe an S. That is if we want to basically form plural nouns, right? Then we just add an S. All right, so there's different ways in how you can basically use different forms of nouns, but to form the plural of most of the nouns, right? And the plural is to show that there's more than one of something that we are talking about, or something that you're growling about, or something that you want, right? So, in order for us to form the plural of most nouns, we add an is. And if we will add an is, for example, we have one tree, but with our plural form, we add an is. So now we have two trees. Then we have, if a noun ends in s, ch, sh, x, or z, then our noun or our verb ends with an es, and that is to make it plural. And an example of that is, for example, we have one bush. All right, so we added an es. So even if we were to have, for example, churches, then church es will be our plural, right? Box es, boxes. All right. So when it also comes to a noun, right? When a noun ends with a y, and then we will then drop the y and we will add the ies to make that word plural. All right. And if the noun ends with an if, or if ends in fe, and the if sounds like it sounds more like it's about to change when it's, for example, when something is happening. All right. So when it comes to our plural nouns, or when it comes to, let's say, our different forms of nouns, then there is different ways in which we can either get our from going from a singular noun to a plural noun, right? Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I think even if it's just like one person, then I think that is enough. So I'm grateful. But thank you very much for the acknowledgement, and it honestly does it means a lot. But thank you very much. I do try. But I think the fact that I'm here every time, it's basically just because of you guys, even if it's just like one person, two people that logs in and that at least interacts. So yeah, that keeps it moving. But thank you very much. Honestly, I appreciate it. All right. So if our noun, right, it ends in an O, then usually we add an S to make it plural, right? Like for example, we have one piano or we have two pianos. So we just added an S to our pianos. If we like, for example, have tomato, we add ES for tomatoes, potatoes. Right? So there's many different ways in which we can add certain words in order to get the plural form, right? But that is you're going to have to familiarize yourself eventually with that in order, especially when it comes to writing, right? Because when it comes to writing, then we don't just use, for example, did this, said that. You understand? You're going to be using plurals, singulars, juggling and mentioning both singular as well as plural, depending on the context of your essays or whatever that you'll be writing. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's go to our test where we are going to complete the sentence with the correct plural. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Santiago enthusiastically announced the arrival of the twin granddaughter, who were 3 weeks premature but quite healthy. We need to select the we need to select our plural. We need to select and complete the sentence with the correct plural. Is it granddaughter? Option one. Great granddaughter? Option one. Is it great granddaughters? Option two. I think option two and option three is the same. So we need to choose the correct plural within that sentence. All right, and we will either choose option two or three because great granddaughters, that is the correct plural, right? Gives us the idea that there's more than one great granddaughter. So well done. Option two and three is the same. I think option two and three is just the same. There's no difference. I think it should have just been option one and option two. We need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. So we need to correct the sentence with the correct plural. It says White House Chief of Staff. So, White House Chief of Staff have traditionally served as presidential assistants. In fact, President Franklin D. Roosevelt first named the position assistant to the president upon its creation in 1939. So we need to select the correct plural, either chief of staff or chiefs of staff, or do we say chief of staffs? All right. And chiefs of staff is correct, which is option two. So well done. Because I see there was a slight difference between option two and option three. But well done. We need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. It says, while cleaning the attic, I discovered two carefully wrapped music boxes. One shimmering pink box with a twirling ballerina and another adorned with brilliant flowers. All right. So do we need to say music box? Do we say it is option one, music boxes, option two, or music boxes without an E, option three? Yes, so if we were to choose the correct one, we would choose option two, which is music boxes, because it means that we are making mention of more than one boxes. Well done. Music boxes is correct. Option two. Having survived the incredible demands of law school and passed the bar, Robert and Blake were proud to finally call themselves attorney at law. So we need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. Attorney at law. So we need to say, is it attorney at law, attorneys at law, or attorney at laws? All right, so we need to choose the correct one. And if we were to choose the correct one, write the correct option, option one, two, or three, and then we will say it is attorneys at law because all three of them have become attorneys now, but we call it attorneys at law. Right, so well done. We need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. It says, in the United States Army, only generals are above lieutenant general. All right. So we need to say that we need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. In the United States Army, the generals are above lieutenant general in rank, except during wartime when an exclusive rank is added. For example, like general of the army. All right, and we now need to choose the correct one, which is lieutenant general. Do we say lieutenant generals or lieutenant generals? All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, we'll either choose option two or option three. That is basically the same. All right, we need to complete the sentence with the correct plural. It says half sister Nia and Laura got into a disagreement about the arrangements for the family reunion. But they eventually determined that much more would be accomplished if they were or if they worked together as a team. All right. And now, if we were to choose the next one, it says, my half sister Nia and Laura got into a disagreement about arrangements for family reunion, but they eventually determined that much more would be accomplished if they worked together as a team. Now, the plural form is it half sister or option two and three half sisters? All right. So we will go with option two or three, which is half sisters. All right. So now we're going to form the singular or plural possessive, right? When it comes to singular or plural possessives, plural possessive nouns, it shows either who owns something or it shows who has something, right? So it shows who owns something or it shows who or what has something. And in a possessive noun, right? When it comes to possessive nouns, it shows either who or what owns something or has something, right? And when it comes to possessive nouns, we need to add an apostrophe as well as an S to a singular possessive noun. All right. And if we were to look at examples of possessive nouns, right, that shows either who or what owns something or has something. Let's say, for example, we say Nadine, right? We want to talk about something that Nadine owns, right? Let's say Nadine, my car. Then we can say it is Nadine's car, right? So if we say it is Nadine's car, then we, for example, write the name, add our apostrophe and our S, because now it shows who owns it or who has it, because it is Nadine's car. All right. And when a plural noun ends with an S, just add an apostrophe to make it a possessive noun. For example, like the boys, and we have the schools, right? So all we did was we added an apostrophe at the end of that one word boys, because, all right. So when it even comes to schools, right, this is more than one school. So instead of just saying the schools team, we say the schools' teams, because now it is the different teams that is going with the schools. No, no. You know, you remember when it comes to a name, right? Then we are making mention of one person, right? Unless we are going to say the girls, or we're going to say the boys, or we're going to say the adults, for example, and whatever that they own. But you're not going to say Nadine's and add an S afterwards and then write the apostrophe, because remember, Nadine is a name, right? And my name ends with an E, for example, right? And it doesn't show more than one Nadine in my case, because I'm one person. But if we're referring to things, right, then we can, for example, and things in with an S. Like, for example, we have a girl or we have girls. Right? So now, instead of just saying it is the girl's toys, right? If I just say it is the one girl's toys, then I can say it's the girl's toys, right? Now I add the apostrophe in this. But as soon as I make mention of more than one girl, then I say the girls', and I add the S and I put the apostrophe at the back. And I say the girls' books. So I'm not sure if that actually um, makes more sense. Yes, because remember, if you're showing somebody's name, that is already showing position, right? It already shows who it belongs to, right? So all we do is we add an apostrophe and an S to show now that okay, this is Nadine's. It's like we're acknowledging it is Nadine's car, it is Prabha's wheels, it is Prabha's um business, right? So that is already an indication on its own that either I own something or I have something, and the same with you, right? But now when it comes to things, right, then you can add an S at the end because that is to show the plural form of it, right? So once again, remember if we make mention of a person, right? And then we add an apostrophe and an S. But as soon as you make mention of things in a plural form, right? In more, showing more than one, then we can add our S and we put the apostrophe outside of that word, right? No, don't, you don't have to apologize, right? You don't have to apologize because we are here to learn. All right, let's go to our test where we are going to form either singular or plural positions. Type the possessive form of the given noun. You need to type the possessive form of the given the of the given noun. It says mockingbird's song. Mockingbird's song. So we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. Mockingbird's song. Is it option one or option two? That is also correct where there is more than one. So we're specifically making mention of this mockingbird, right? And the songs. All right, so the answer is correct. Now we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. It says the manager's meeting. So manager's meeting. All right, so we can then say the manager's meeting. If we're talking about more than one manager, then we can say the manager's meeting, meaning that the apostrophe is outside because we're referring to more than one manager that will be having this meeting or that will be sitting in this meeting. It says the strawberries flavors. The strawberries flavors. So now we say that we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. It is the raspberries flavor. Do we write raspberries as in option 1 or do we write it as option 2? All right, so we can say we're going to type the possessive form of the given noun, which is the raspberries. Oh, sorry, the raspberries. So raspberries, it is plural, right? So they're saying the raspberries flavors, and if it is plural, and then we're going with option 1 because it is a plural form, it is more than one, right? Unless we just say raspberry, right? But we made mention of more than one berries, right? The seniors' weekly lunch. The seniors' weekly lunch. Is it option 1 where the C it's senior with the apostrophe outside, or option 2 we're making mention of one senior? All right, so if we are saying that the seniors weekly lunch, right, that means that we are making mention of more than one senior member, right? It is, let's say, maybe a group of seniors who's having this weekly lunch. So if we say the seniors is weekly lunch, yes, and then we will say option 1 because it makes mention of more than one senior that is coming for lunch. All right, so well done, well done. We need to type the possessive form of the given noun again. The graduate's joy. The graduate's joy. So we say that the graduate's joy. So the graduates refers to more than one graduate. So the graduate's joy. Do we say graduates in like option 1 with the apostrophe that is outside, or graduate apostrophe inside in front of the S? All right, so we can say that the graduate's joy, because we are making mention of more than one graduate, right? We are saying option one. All right, so well done. Remember, if we only had to make mention of one graduate, and then we would have put an apostrophe and an S instead of just the apostrophe, right? The next one say the architect office. The architect office. Is it option one, the architects, or option two, the architects? All right, so here I said the architect office, right? So it is like one person whose office it is, the architect office. So now we need to try and type the possessive form of the given noun. Yeah, that is happening. So the architect office. And then if we were to choose the correct option, then yes, we will go with the architects because it is one person whose office it is. So well done. So the apostrophe and the S is correct. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on nouns, right? We had to form the singular as well as the plural positions. We see that when we use singular positions, we, for example, put the apostrophe and an S to show that we are referring to a singular person. And when it comes to plural possessive, we had to add our apostrophe at the back or behind or just after the word in order to show that it is a plural possessive. Possessive shows what a person has, what a person owns, right? That is what a possessive is. So, this is now the end of our lesson. Grade 8, thank you very much for joining the class. Prabha, thank you very much for your beautiful words. I actually took a screenshot, so yeah, I honestly do appreciate it, and I do appreciate your eagerness to learn. So you should have a good day further. Goodbye. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much. Great. Actually, just Prabha. Goodbye. Have a good evening.